Assalamu alaikum. This is Raida from Capstone and আজকে আমরা academic IELTS এর reading এর একটা passage solve করব. Let's see how we do it.
So let's start with our reading passage. অনেকেই বলে যদি reading passage অনেক problem থাকে, and one of the major areas যেখানে the problem থেকে থাকে হচ্ছে true, false and not given part, which is identifying information. What do you mean by identifying information? Well, you read the passage and there are a few statements given in the question, as we can see over here. And what you do is you try to cross-check the information, kind of like আপনার এখানে যে স্টেটমেন্টগুলো দেওয়া আছে এগুলো আপনি পড়বেন, পড়ে এটা কি সঠিকটা দেওয়া আছে প্যাসেজে, নাকি এটা ভুলটা দেওয়া আছে, নাকি এটা প্যাসেজে দেওয়াই নাই, এই তিনটা আপনি ডিটারমাইন করবেন. সো হাউ ডু ইউ ডু ইট? হাউ ডু ইউ সলভ আ রিডিং প্যাসেজ? ফার্স্ট অফ অল, মানুষদের একটা মিসকনসেপশন আছে যে রিডিং সলভ করতে হলে আইএলস এ আপনাদেরকে পুরো একটা প্যাসেজ পড়তে হবে. That's not entirely correct. What you have to do, what is important, is you have to see the question first. Question patternটা দেখতে হবে. You have to see what kind of question you're solving. So এখানে we are solving true, false and not given. TFNG, my bad. We are solving identifying information kind of question. So এখানে আমাদেরকে প্রতিটা ডিটেইল বাই ডিটেইল দেখতে হবে. We have to read line by line. We have to cross-check the lines or the information given in the passage with those that are given in the question. যেহেতু এখানে আমাদেরকে ডিটেইল লাইন বাই লাইন দেখতে হবে, এখানে we have to follow a specific type of reading style. There are two types of reading style. একটা হচ্ছে skimming, একটা হচ্ছে scanning. We have to know the difference between skimming and scanning. And then we have to use the appropriate reading style for the question. এখানে যেহেতু আমাদেরকে ডিটেইল টু ডিটেইল কম্পেয়ার করতে হবে, আমাদের এখানে স্ক্যানিং ফলো করতে হবে, এখানে আমাদেরকে স্ক্যানিং অ্যাপ্লাই করতে হবে. সো হোয়াট ইজ স্ক্যানিং? Scanning is we read the passage line by line to look for a specific information. সেই সঙ্গে আপনি জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারেন যে what is skimming? Skimming হচ্ছে যে আপনি পুরোটা প্যাসেজ জাস্ট হেড টু টো পড়ে গেলেন, just to understand the basic idea, the gist, the summary of the passage. Over here, আমাদের summary বুঝলেই হবে না, এখানে আমাদেরকে প্রতিটা detail to detail, as I said over and over again, match করতে হবে. So এখানে আমাদের scanning টা লাগবে. Let's try to attempt one of the questions to see how it works. Okay, all right. So let's read the question first. এখানে আমাদের 8টা statement দেওয়া আছে. They are saying, do the following statements agree with the information given in the passage? As I said, ওরা আপনাদেরকে এখানে কিছু স্টেটমেন্টস দিয়েছে. You have to figure out, you have to determine যে এই স্টেটমেন্ট গুলো প্যাসেজের মধ্যে আছে, সঠিকটা দেওয়া নাকি ভুলটা দেওয়া নাকি দেওয়াই নেই. Then they have given you these questions from 1 to 8. Now let's see, let's read the questions very quick. The Thames Tunnel was the first tunnel ever built under a river. Okay, the Thames Tunnel was the 8th wonder of the world. So এখানে বলছে, first of all, let's just for the sake of this video, just for the sake of understanding how we're doing it, let's just look at the top 3 statements. So first of all, the Thames Tunnel was the first tunnel ever built under a river. Easy. The Thames Tunnel was the 8th wonder of the world. এখানে বলছে যে it was the first ever tunnel built under a river. আরেকটা বলছে যে this was the 8th wonder of the world. থার্ডে বলছে people were drawn from all over to see the Thames Tunnel. So এই তিনটা মাথায় রেখে let us go and read the passage now. একটা জিনিস মনে রাখবেন, কোয়েশ্চেন গুলো যে সিরিয়ালি দেওয়া আছে, আপনার অ্যান্সার গুলো in the passage from head to toe ওভাবেই দেওয়া থাকবে সিরিয়ালি. Okay, so let's begin. Let's see. All right. So first of all, the Thames Tunnel was the first tunnel ever built under a river. The Thames Tunnel was a tunnel built under the River Thames in London. It was the first subaqueous. So you see, এখানে ওরা বলছে কিন্তু that this was the first subaqueous tunnel ever built. So this was the first ever tunnel ever built. So আমি এখানে বলতে পারি যে this is true, right? এখানে আমি just T লিখছি for the sake of this video, but আপনারা full formটা লিখবেন, TRUE, full formটা লিখবেন, just TFNG লিখে যাবেন না, full wordটা লিখবেন. Okay, so reading the first line of the sentence, I can say that the first sentence in the question is true. Now let's see. And many believed it was the eighth wonder of the world. Many believed it was the eighth wonder of the world. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was the eighth wonder of the world. It actually eighth wonder of the world, and এটা অনেকে বিশ্বাস করা যে এটা eighth wonder of the world এর মধ্যে অনেক ডিফারেন্স আছে. Okay, so I can say যে it's false. Okay, it's false because it wasn't actually the eighth wonder of the world. It was just believed by many people that it was. Okay, then let's see. It was opened in 1843 to pedestrians only, and people came from far and wide to see the marble. Okay, বলছে যে it was opened in 1843 to pedestrians only. Pedestrians মানে কি? Pedestrians যারা people who walk. Okay, so it was opened in 1843 for people who walk, and people from far and wide came to see the marble. তো অনেক দূর দূর থেকে মানুষ এটা দেখতে এসেছে. So people were drawn from all over to see the Thames Tunnel. So this and people coming from far and wide actually means the same thing. So I can say, yes, this is indeed true. It is true that people did come from far and wide. People came from all over to come and see the Thames Tunnel. Now let's go and look at questions 4, 5, and 6. Where are they? Okay, here they are. Okay, hold up. My annotation হচ্ছে, so it looks like that. Okay, hold up. So look at number 4. The tunnel was used more by middle and upper classes. Let's look at this statement and let's search for this information in the passage for a minute. Okay, let's see. The Thames Tunnel was used by people from all classes. এখানে বলছে that it was used by people from all classes. Nowhere does it say or specify that it was specifically used by either the middle or the upper class, but lower class use করে নাই, শুধু middle and upper করেছে, এরকম কিছুই বলা হয় না. এখানে বলা হচ্ছে যে it was used by people from all classes. So this is a very huge criteria, and ওরা কোয়েশ্চেনটার মধ্যে specify করে দিচ্ছে. So I can very easily say that it is indeed false. Why? Because এরকম কোনো specify করা নাই যে শুধুমাত্র middle and upper class এখানে এসেছিল, এটা সবার জন্য open ছিল. People from all classes came to use this tunnel, and it was used by people from all classes. So this is how little by little we solve these questions. We read the questions first, then we go to the passage, we read line by line, and we cross-check the information given in the question with that given in the passage, and then we determine যে কোনটা ঠিক, কোনটা ভুল, and কোনটা এখানে দেওয়াই নেই. Okay, let us solve the rest of the questions, and we can see other types of questions that might come. আমরা এখানে not given পাই নেই, so let us solve the rest of them. Where do we go? Here. All right, so let's read questions 5, 6. People were able to travel by sea or land in those days. Okay, and আরেকটা হচ্ছে the aim of the tunnel was to turn a profit as a tourist attraction. Let's see, দুটো এখানে বলা আছে নাকি? Okay, all right. The working class used it for its functional use of crossing from one side of the river to another, while for the middle classes and upper classes, it was a tourist experience. Acha. In the age of sail and horse-drawn coaches, people traveled a long way to visit the tunnel, but this was not enough to make the tunnel a financial success. Okay, so first of all, এখানে দুটো very interesting জিনিস বলা আছে. এখানে বলা আছে, let's look at the question. See, where do we annotate this? All right, here we go. We can begin. Okay, so first of all, let's see. People were able to travel by sea or land in those days. ওরা যখনই আমাকে বলছে in the age of sail and horse-drawn coaches. My bad, line-টা অনেক curvy. Let me try that again for you. In the age of sail and horse-drawn coaches. So when they're saying in the age of sail and horse-drawn coaches, that automatically means that people could travel by sea or land. They would sail on the sea and they would ride a coach, a horse-drawn coach on the land. So number 5 is actually true. It is indeed true. People were able to travel by land or sea. Okay, then let's see. The aim of the tunnel was to turn a profit as a tourist attraction. Okay, now let's see. People traveled a long way to visit the tunnel, but this was not enough to make the tunnel a financial success. It had over 500,000 pounds to complete. It had cost over 500,000 pounds to complete, which in those days was a considerable amount of money. However, even though it attracted about 2 million people each year, each person only paid a penny to use. So from the context starting from this line, আমি যদি এই লাইন থেকে পড়ি যে first of all, it was not a financial success. And then it cost over $500,000. And also if I see that about 2 million people each year visited the place, but each person only ever paid a penny. এভাবে তো এটা টাকা তো উঠবে না, তাই না? So obviously বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে টানেলটার এইমটা was not for tourist attraction, okay? So I can easily say that the aim had been for the tunnel to be used by wheeled vehicles, transport cargo, so it could bring in a profit. A questionটার answer আমি অনেকগুলো লাইন থেকে পেয়েছি. First of all, I started to see যে it was not a financial success. Then I got to find out যে its cost was over 500,000 pounds, but people were only paying a penny per person, was only paying a penny each to use the tunnel. যেখানে 2 million people visited this tunnel each year. And তারপর তোরা directly বলে দিল, the aim had been for the tunnel to be used by wheeled vehicles to transport cargo so that it could bring in a profit. So of course we can say that this is false because of the many information that has been given in the passage, and also because এখানে আমাদেরকে the aim এর যে লাইনটা আছে, the third last line, ওখানে আমাদেরকে বলে দেওয়া হয়েছে that this was not the aim. Tourist attraction was not the aim. The aim was for the tunnel to be used by wheeled vehicles to transport cargo. All right, now let's look at the last two statements, number 7 and number 8. Statues of the tunnel could be bought as souvenirs. Let's see. Nothing became more than a tourist attraction selling souvenirs. So they're saying যে just souvenirs sell করা হয়তো, but statues of the tunnel যে sell করা হয়তো as a souvenir, এটা কিন্তু কোথাও বলা নেই. Just বলা আছে যে souvenir sell করা হচ্ছে, not given হবে এখানে answerটা. Why? Because they're just telling us যে এখানে souvenir sell করা হতো, but tunnel statueটা যে itself sell করা হয়তো এটা এখানে কোথাও বলা নাই. So I can very easily say যে it's not given. And then let's do a G. Let's see. There you go. There you go. And there you go. এটা আপনাদের ইজির জন্য এখানে লিখে দিচ্ছি. Mind my terrible handwriting on the screen. Okay. Then the last question. The tunnel is no longer used as a pedestrian walkway to cross the tunnel. So sorry, to cross the river. Let's see. In 1986, the tunnel became the part of London Underground Railway system, which continues to be its use today. So later on, it became a part of the London Underground Railway system. So obviously, it is no longer used as a pedestrian walkway. So we can say that is true because now our walkway হিসেবে use করা হয় না. Now it is being used as the part of the London Underground Railway. So this is how we actually solve true false in a passage. First of all, আমাদেরকে দেখতে হবে যে আমাদের কোয়েশ্চেনটা কি. What kind of a question are we solving? If it's a kind of question যেখানে আমাদেরকে বলা হচ্ছে detail by detail comparison করতে বা কোনো কোয়েশ্চেনের অ্যান্সার বের করার জন্য we are being asked detail বের করে নিয়ে আসতে, then we have to read the passage using the technique of scanning. After that, when we determine that, we have to read the questions first. This is specifically true for true, false, and not given, which is also known as identifying information. Amra question ta porbo, tarpor amra passage tate jabo. We go to the passage, we see the information, we look for the information, and then we determine what is true, what is false, and what is not given. And before I end, I will also include the fact যে false and not given are not the same. You see, আমি যদি আপনাকে বলি যে Doraemon is a cat, you will say it's true. আমি যদি বলি Doraemon, বাচ্চাদের famous favorite cartoon, আমি যদি বলি is a blue cat, then you will say যে it's also true. But যদি আমি বলি যে Doraemon is a Malaysian cat, then you will say it's false because he's from Japan. But মনে করেন আমি এগুলো সব ইনফরমেশন আপনাকে একটা প্যাসেজে দিয়েছি, বাট আমি আপনাকে বলিনি যে কোথা থেকে এসেছে. In the passage I just said Doraemon is a blue cat. কিন্তু আপনাকে কোয়েশ্চেনে দেওয়া Doraemon is the blue Japanese cat. তো আমি কি কোথাও বলেছি প্যাসেজে যে জাপান থেকে এসেছে? না. So it's going to be not given because the information আমি দিই নাই on the first place. Just like in this passage, এখানে আমি বলেছি যে passage দেওয়া আছে যে tourists were like tourist attraction selling souvenirs. So souvenirs were sold in this tunnel. কিন্তু কোথাও বলা হয়নি যে কি ধরনের souvenirs sold করা হচ্ছে. But এখানে আমরা বলা হচ্ছে the statues of the tunnel. So যেহেতু কোথাও বলা হয়নি, কোথাও দেওয়া হয়নি, therefore it's not given. So hopefully all of these tips and you seeing how I solved this entire passage for you will be helpful for you, and I will come back to you with the next video. Bye.